I mentioned this before, this next one. It really does get on my wick. It's basically security guards with whistles. I mean, it's like there's a whistle in their esophagus. Every time they breathe, it goes off. Because that's what they do. They're ushering you into a parking space and they're blowing this whistle incessantly. And it is absolutely infuriating. Hello guys, it's a warm welcome back. This is Alpha Omega Daily. And you know something, I say daily in the title and I haven't put up a video in a week, so there you go. I've been quite busy with other projects because this is my second channel on YouTube. My first channel is the big picture, El Panorama. That's it there. That's quite a, well, I won't say very large, but it's got 22,000 subs. 22,000 subs as opposed to this one, which is just under 2,000. And I'd love you to click subscribe to this channel because I bring you the real deal about Thailand. Today we're talking about things that, you know, kind of get under my skin about living here. The things about living here in general are fantastic, as you know. This is the end of November, or we're getting towards the end of November, and it's about 35 degrees. I mean, you can't ask for better than that when it comes to weather. But here's a list of, let's see, I said 8, I got to 8, I was not going to get to 10, but I couldn't come up with 10 things that annoy me about living in Thailand. By the way, this doesn't just apply to Thailand, it can apply to anywhere. But I happen to be here, and these are the things that annoy me. Number 1. Well, it's not number 1, but it's one of the things. So I won't go in sequential order, let's say. So it's not this saying it's number 1 doesn't mean it's the one. It's the uppermost thing that annoys me. But Scotch tape. And you probably ask yourself, what the hell's wrong with Scotch tape? There's nothing wrong with Scotch tape, but every kind of adhesive tape that is on sale here is Scotch tape. We're going for sellotape, as we call it in Ireland. Insulation tape, packing tape, gaffer tape, any kind of tape, it's Scotch tape. And it's, of course, Scotch tape is Scotch tape. One of the reasons why they do this is that when tape first came into Thailand, obviously Scotch tape was the predominant product, so therefore it became Scotch tape, like Pampers. Pampers are a product, it's a product name, but all diapers or all nappies, as we say back home in Ireland, are called Pampers. Even Pampers are Pampers, but other things are Pampers. I mean, I was sent down to the store to buy Pampers for my son when he was a baby, and I, for fun, called my wife and I said, I'm not going to buy the Pampers, they're too expensive. Why don't I go for whatever Huggies or whatever it was? And she couldn't understand what the hell I was talking about. But there you go, Pampers are Pampers, and so is everything else, and Scotch tape is Scotch tape, and so is everything else. Parking with your wheels straight. Jesus Christ almighty. Parking with your wheels straight. They will have a canary, and I mean it. They jump up, but it wouldn't necessarily jump up and down. But if a security guard is directing you to park with that bloody whistle in his mouth, as they do, if you don't leave your wheels straight, they'll correct you and say wheels straight. So I deliberately don't park with my wheels straight, just to see what they say, and because I don't like to be controlled. Basically, if I want to park with my wheels whatever way I want, I'll park with my wheels whatever way I want, but these guys don't. They always have their wheels straight. Parking at junctions. In Thailand, we drive, and I say we, although I'd like to be part of society, but you're very much an outsider when you live here. That's not a bad thing, but well, it is a bad thing for me, but I'll use the collective we in this case. Parking at junctions. Driving on the left, if you're coming out onto a main road, the main road is here, you're coming out, you look right to see what's coming. Well, you won't be able to see what's coming because there'll be a car parked at the junction. And the same applies on the other side, because when you're trying to turn, you have to go right out into the middle lane of the road to avoid the car that's parked on the junction at the other side. And that is more or less par for the course. I mentioned this before, this next one. It really does get on my wick. It's basically security guards with whistles. I mean, it's like there's a whistle in their esophagus. Every time they breathe, it goes off, because that's what they do. They're ushering you into a parking space, and they're blowing this whistle incessantly, and it is absolutely infuriating. Try it. Well, try listening. Try having to put up with it. Warm cold cuts. When you buy cold cuts in the supermarket or in a convenience store, that's what they are. They're called cold cuts because they're served cold, they're pre-cooked. Well, not here. When you buy cold cuts, they will straight away ask you, wave the crap, that wave, and I go like this, but they obviously mean microwave. So they ask you to put it in the microwave, and I say no. But when I buy cold cuts for other people in with my wife's extended family, whoever it may be, they're not cold cuts at all. They're put in the microwave and they're hot. Slip roads and ramps on motorways and dual carriageways. The thing about these things is that you'll be let's say there's 3 lanes on a dual carriageway. I'm not saying this applies to motorways, or does it? I don't think it does. I think it just applies to carriageways, let's say, dual carriageways. You're on let's say there's 3 lanes and you're on the inside lane, so we're driving on the left, remember lads. So you're on the inside lane and you're continuing along, and all of a sudden it turns into a ramp. There's no ramp. The inside lane becomes the ramp. It's really, you've got to be on the ball. You've really got to be on the ball when you're driving, because that's something that you just wouldn't get. You just literally wouldn't get, the fact that your lane is going to turn into a ramp. But they're all over the place. Oh yeah, parasols on the footpath. That really is more than an annoyance. It's actually dangerous. I'm 183 centimeters. And I would be, back home I wouldn't be considered tall, but here you're very much on the tall side. And I'm looking around, I don't see any parasols here where I am, but parasols are usually about this height, the height of my brow. And more than once I've collided with a parasol. And they're all over the place because the Thais don't like the sun. So if you go to any market or any street trader, they'll have a parasol over their produce or over their stand, and you will hit it with your head. And a part of this as well, ATM canopies. They have canopies on ATMs, and lots of times, I don't know if there's a scar there because I don't have hair, you see, and you're very vulnerable, by the way, when you're bald, to knocks and stuff like that. Well, I can't tell you how many times I've scraped my head on the canopy of an ATM because it's too bloody low. It's basically, you see, look, it's their country. They're a wonderful country, I might add, and it's an honour and a privilege for me to live here. But obviously they cater. The infrastructure, let's say, is geared towards the stature of the locals, and the stature of the locals would not be of the stature of Westerners, and therefore you scrape your head off canopies of ATM machines, and you collide with parasols. So there's just a few things that annoy me about living in Thailand. None of them, absolutely none of them are terminal. These are just little grievances, but at the end of the day, it's a wonderful place to live. The people are absolutely amazing, and I absolutely love it. So guys, I hope you've enjoyed, maybe even you've loved watching this video, but whatever you've done, make sure you click that like button, click the share button, click the whatever, but subscribe, make sure you do that. Click the subscribe button, and I'll bring you back another wonderful video very soon. Thanks for joining me.